Good day, learners! I am your teacher Alice, and welcome to Accounting Pinasayon class, a Fundamentals of Accounting, Business and Management 1 tutorial. Today, we are going to tackle our 10th topic, which is entitled The Rules of Debit and Credit. Are you ready to listen? For today's lesson, we have the following objectives. 1. Recite the steps in the accounting cycle. 2. Identify the normal balances of account titles or accounts. 3. Analyze business transactions of a service business using the rules of debits and credits. Please be reminded that these learning objectives must be achieved at the end of this lesson. Before we proceed to our new topic, let us review our previous lessons. Last discussion, we have tackled about the major account classifications, and these are assets, liabilities, owner's equity or the capital account, revenue, and expenses. In our previous topics, we have also discussed about the dual aspect concept of accounting. It states that any business transaction will affect two or more accounts which shall be entered into two sides. And these two sides are called the debit and the credit side. In my previous discussions, I have also tackled the different source documents and the commonly used examples of these source documents. We have commercial invoices, official receipts, check voucher, petty cash voucher, promissory notes, bank deposit slips, debit memorandum, payroll sheet, billing statement, or statement of accounts. Students, tandaan na hindi limitado sa 10 ito ang source documents na ginagamit ng mga businesses. Maaaring meron ding mga source documents na ginagamit na hindi nabanggit sa ating lesson. But again, this is for emphasis only, no? That source documents are really needed in order to support every business transaction. To start with our new topic, let us have an overview of the accounting cycle. Here are the 10 steps in the accounting cycle. First, we have to analyze transactions from source documents. 2. Prepare journal entries in the journal. 3. Posting entries in the general ledger, otherwise known as the book of final entry. 4th, prepare the unadjusted trial balance. 5th, prepare adjusting journal entries. 6th, prepare the adjusted trial balance. 7th, prepare financial statements. 8th, prepare closing entries for temporary or nominal accounts. 9, prepare the post-closing trial balance. And the 10th optional step is reversing entries. Remember, class, that the accounting cycle is done repetitively in every accounting period. Kaya nga tinawag siyang cycle dahil paulit-ulit natin itong gagawin in every accounting period. Now, let us discuss the first step in the accounting cycle. The first step will require an accountant or a bookkeeper to analyze transactions from source documents. In accounting, meron tayong general rule na sinusunod. And this states that no approved source documents, no recording of data in the accounting books. Sa madaling salita, kung walang papel na magpapatunay na ang transaksyon ay nangyari at kung ang source document ay hindi rin inaprubahan o nilagdaan ng accounting manager o ng sinumang approving officer na itinalaga ng isang business, hindi ito pwedeng i-record sa ating accounting books. Bakit? Dahil magiging invalid ang isang transaction. That is why it is important to consider and always remember that source documents are very important in the accounting cycle. Again, no source document, no recording. Now, the second step in the accounting cycle is the preparation of journal entries in the accounting book called the journal. Again, the journal is also known as the book of original entries. Bakit original? Kasi dito nagsisimulang i-record lahat ng business transactions na valid. Paano magiging valid ang isang business transaction? Kapag ito ay may source document at ang source document ay inapproved ng approving officer. Now, there are types of journal books in accounting. Now, for this discussion, we will only use the general journal. We will have a separate discussion about the special journals. Now, let us take a look at an example of a general journal. And let us examine the different parts of the general journal. The first part is the date column. As you notice, hindi na kailangang ulit-ulitin pang ilagay ang taon na kung kailan mo ni-record ang isang transaction. As you see, iisang taon lang ang nilagay on the uppermost part of the date column. So, ang ilalagay mo na lang ay yung buwan at araw sa bawat transaction. The second part is your debit account. So, in this transaction, the cash account is being debited. Now, for your credit account, tingnan mabuti, a credit account must be indented para hindi tayo malito kung saan dyan ang debit at kung saan dyan ang credit entry. Another important part of a general journal is your brief explanation. Brief, meaning to say, maikli, ngunit madaling maintindihan. Na kung babalikan mo ang transaction na ito o ang journal entry na ito ay maiintindihan mo at makikita mo kung saan ito nagmula. It is very important to include also the source document control number. So in this case, nilagay niya ang official receipt number ng kanyang source document. Next is our money columns. Dito na papasok ang amount involved in our entries. So we have the debit and the credit money columns. In this case, 100,000 ang nilagay sa debit column at 100,000 naman ang nilagay for the credit column. As you can see, all debit entries and credit entries are balanced. Hindi po pwedeng hindi maging balanse ang bawat laman ng ating debit and credit entry. It must be balanced. Next is your general journal page number. Napakahalaga ng page number for the general journal. upang malaman natin kung may missing transactions ba during the period. Hindi pwedeng mawala ang isang page ng general journal. Otherwise, magiging doubtful ang ating auditor o magiging unreliable ang ating recording procedure. So, napakahalaga na ingatan ang bawat page ng isang general journal. The last part is the PR column. PR stands for the Posting Reference Column. Okay? It is used for referencing the general ledger. So, ito ay magiging palatandaan natin kung nailipat na ang bawat amount ng debit at credit entry on their respective general ledger account. So, on the next step, cash will have its own ledger. Service income account will also have its general ledger. Okay? So, ito yung mga pinaka-importanting parts ng ating general journal. Alright, so after knowing the important parts of a general journal, let us now proceed to the rules of debit and credit. Class, always remember that these rules will dictate on how you record your business transactions in the general journal. So let us begin with our normal balances. Normal balance means the side of an account where it increases. Sa madaling salita, ang normal balance ay ang side ng account kung saan ito nag-i-increase. Okay? This table summarizes the rules of debit and credit. Now we have here the different classification of accounts. These are the major types of accounts. We have assets, liabilities, equity, revenue, expense, and dividend. Now, these accounts represent the rules. All right? So, the first rule is for the asset. So, when we increase assets, we need to put them on the debit side. When we want to decrease assets, we will decrease them on the credit side. Rule number 2, for liabilities. Liabilities will increase on the credit side and will decrease on the debit side. Rule number 3, for equity. Equity will increase on the credit side and will decrease on the debit side. Rule number 4, for revenue. Revenue will increase on the credit side and will decrease on the debit side. Rule number 5, for expenses. Expenses will increase on the debit side and will decrease on the credit side. Rule number 6, for dividends. Dividends will increase on the debit side and will decrease on the credit side. So these are the basic rules of debit and credit. All you have to know are the normal balances for each account. Dahil pag alam mo na kung saan mag-i-increase ang isang account, alam mo na rin kung saan siya magde-decrease. Okay, so let us practice by having an example. Let me read this example. On January 1, 2024, Simon Kalang invested 100,000 cash to start his laundry business. Now, in analyzing business transaction, we have to know the values received and the values parted with or given up. So let's start analyzing this transaction. First question. What was the value received? Ano ang natanggap ng business? What's your answer? Okay, the answer is cash. Nakatanggap ang business ng cash o pera. Second question, how much was the value received? Magkano ang tinanggap na cash ng business? What's your answer? Alright, the answer is 100,000. The third question, did item A, or on the first question, was cash, increase or decrease? Did cash increase or decrease? The answer is increase. Fourth question, on what side of an account does cash increases? Since we already know what account title to use, then we should know the normal balance of this account. So in the previous slide, we already knew that cash is an asset account. Therefore, asset accounts will increase on the debit side. So after doing this initial analysis, our journal entry for the debit column will appear like this. Okay, so we have our date here, which is January 1, 2024, assuming that we recorded this transaction on the same day it transpired. We have here our debit entry, which is the cash account, and we extended on the debit column the amount of 100,000 pesos. That is for our debit entry. Alright, so we are done with our debit entry. Now let us proceed analyzing for our credit entry. So as what I've said, in analyzing a business transaction, we should consider the value received and the value parted with. Now, the first question for a credit entry is, what was the value given up? What is your answer? The answer is Simon Kalang's capital. All right. How much was the value given up? Okay. The value given up by Simon Kalang was 100,000. Did the value given up increase or decrease? Or in this case, did Simon Kalang's capital increase or decrease? What's your answer? Okay, the answer is increase. Of course, Simon invested 100,000 capital and therefore it made his capital increase. Fourth question, on what side of an account does a capital increases? What's your answer? Okay, the answer is credit. All right. So after analyzing our credit entry, this will be our final journal entry for this transaction. Okay, so this is our entry. We have debit cash 100,000 and credit Simon Kalang capital 100,000. Explanation: to record initial investment of the owner. Alright, so as you can see, our journal entry affects two accounts, which is the cash and the capital account. It also has 100,000 on the debit side and another 100,000 on the credit side, which makes both sides equal. Okay, so para mas madali nating matandaan ang ating normal balances, gumawa ako ng simplified diagram for you to remember. Okay, so please remember that your debit side is on the left side and your credit side is on your right side. So kung saan kayo nakaharap ngayon, yan yung susundan nyong sides. Okay? So on the debit side, we have all, daddies, express. On the credit side, we have love, equality, and reverence. So, maaalala nyo yan by reciting all daddies express, love, equality, reverence. All for assets, daddies for dividends, express for expenses, love for liabilities, equality for equity, and reverence for revenue. Alright? So I hope that you will remember the most important lesson for today, which is the normal balances of accounts. Kasi magiging crucial ito sa pagre-record nyo ng inyong journal entries. Okay? So please remember na pag hindi mo alam yung iyong normal balances ay hindi ka talaga makaka-proceed sa tamang pagre-record ng iyong journal entries. Another important thing to remember are our contra-asset accounts. Okay? So contra-asset accounts are the accounts that are reducing the value of our certain assets. No? So in the previous discussions, nalaman natin that contra-asset accounts will reduce the value of our assets. Ang example nito ay accounts receivable less allowance for bad debts. Ito yung mga accounts o yung mga services and products na na-deliver o na-render mo na, ngunit sa kasamaang palad ay malabo ng makolekta. Hindi pa naman 100% na hindi na talaga makokolekt, pero merong probability na hindi siya makokolekta. So, following the conservatism principle of accounting, na hindi tayo magbibilang ng mga amounts na hindi siguradong matatanggap ng business, therefore, it is just right that we will record allowance for bad debts to faithfully represent the real value of our accounts receivable. Okay, another example is our fixed assets like our equipment. So it is also reduced by setting up an accumulated depreciation account. Ito namang accumulated depreciation ay iyong value na ibabawas mo sa iyong mga equipment or sa other fixed assets mo due to obsolescence. Sa tagal ng panahon na ginagamit mo na siya, nababawasan na yung kanyang value. So, hindi forever na yung cost ng fixed asset mo, nung pagkabili mo, yan pa rin ang cost hanggang sa masira. So, we will therefore set up an accumulated depreciation account so that your fixed assets can be presented fairly. And malaman din natin kung magkano na talaga ang present na value niyan. Okay? Next is your intangible assets, which will be reduced also by amortizing. Magsiset up tayo ng account which is called amortization. Okay? So, the same concept with your fixed assets, ibabawas pa rin natin ang amortization sa value ng ating intangible assets at ang magiging carrying value ng mga ito ay net na ng contra accounts. Okay, so to understand that further, let me cite an example. Okay? So here we have Simon Laundry Shop recorded first-year depreciation for its laundry equipment at a cost of 110,000 with an estimated salvage value of 10,000 after 10 years of useful life. Okay? So, in summary, bumili si Simon Laundry Shop ng laundry equipment. Let us just say, washing machine ito na nagkakahalaga ng 110,000. Ngunit, based on the appraisal no, ng mga experts, ang kanyang washing machine ay magtatagal lamang ng 10 taon. No? So, after 10 years, ang magiging salvage value niya o yung value niya na lang after 10 years ay 10,000. So, in computing our depreciation, we will use the straight line method. No? This is the commonly used method in computing our depreciation. So, our formula would be cost minus salvage value divided by life of the asset. So, in this case, 110,000 ang ating cost at babawasan ito ng 10,000 salvage value at i-divide natin into 10 years. So, ang magiging annual or yearly depreciation natin ay 10,000 pesos. Ito yung value na ibabawas natin sa ating laundry equipment kada taon. Okay? So, for this year, 2024, assuming na natapos na ang 2024 at magpe-prepare na ng financial statement si Simon Laundry Shop at kailangan niya na mag-set up ng depreciation account, magde-debit tayo ng depreciation expense worth 10,000 based doon sa ating computation. On the other hand, mag-credit tayo ng accumulated depreciation account, which is our contra asset account, amounting to 10,000 also, which makes our entry balance. Now, depreciation expense will reduce your revenue. No? So, this will go to your Statement of Comprehensive Income or the SCI na financial statement. So, magiging kabawasan nito ng revenue mo. On the other hand, your accumulated depreciation again is your contra asset account. And this will reduce the value of your fixed asset. So, in this case, your fixed asset is your laundry equipment. So, this is how your laundry equipment will be presented in your statement of financial position. Your laundry equipment cost is 110,000 less accumulated depreciation for the first year, which is 10,000. So the carrying or the book value of your laundry equipment will only be 100,000 as of December 31, 2024. Alright? Alright, so after learning the basic rules of debits and credits, we will now proceed to our evaluation. So, I want this to be your assignment, no? Write this on your journal, on your journal book. Okay, so these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items which you are going to answer. So, all you have to do is to provide an analysis for each debit and credit entry and then proceed to making your respective journal entries. So, ma'am, ano po ba yung gagamitin naming mga account titles? So, last time we already had our oral recitations. So, those account titles you have mentioned in our previous lessons will be used as your account titles. Alright? So, good luck everyone and thank you for taking time to watch this recorded lesson and may you always be inspired to learn accounting and apply it in your real life soon. Thank you and goodbye.